Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over a 2024 election prediction between son of former President Donald Trump Jr., and President of the United States, Joe Biden. Now this would be an interesting one because Donald Trump Jr., I think, believe it or not, might have more of a social media troll-like presence and able to get under the media's skin. Donald Trump Jr. might be as good, if not better, than his father at that. So it'd be very, very interesting. Make no mistake, the media would absolutely go after Donald Trump Jr., and much like they did his father, probably in similar fashion. So I think this election would be very, very similar to Trump versus Biden. However, I really don't know if Donald Trump Jr. would be more unliked than his father would be. Because, especially towards women voters, I don't think Donald Trump Jr. has any of the same pedigree in terms of what has happened compared to his father. So it'd be an interesting thing to see. So first things first, I think Joe Biden would win the West Coast, as he and every other Democrat would. I think Joe Biden would win the eastern seaboard states as well. I think he would win Maine's 1st district safe. Probably Maine at large safe too, to be honest. I don't know if Donald Trump Jr. would appeal to Maine too well. New York would go safe for Joe Biden as well. And I'm also going to give the state of Virginia safe to Donald Trump Jr. And I think I'm going to give the states of Colorado and New Mexico as well. Now, Donald Trump Jr. will do well in the traditional Republican states throughout the Republican L, throughout the middle of the country. I don't expect this to be too surprising. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here's that. I think that Joe Biden would actually probably win Nebraska's 2nd district. I think he'd probably win that. I think Donald Trump Jr. would win the state of Texas likely, as well as the states of Ohio and Iowa. I think the fact that he has the Trump name would certainly help him out in those 3 states. I think Joe Biden would win the state of Minnesota likely. I'd expect Joe Biden to win New Hampshire likely as well. I think Maine's 2nd district is interesting. I don't know if people would turn out for Donald Trump Jr. as much as they did for Donald Trump, so I'm going to put Maine 2nd in the tilt column for Joe Biden. But, yeah, so Biden's at 227, Trump's at 188. I think that Joe Biden would win the state of Nevada, but very, very close. Maybe even under 1%. Nevada's going to keep trending to the Republican side in presidential elections. I think it's either going to flip in 2024 or 2028, but it will be flipping very soon. The state of Florida, I think Donald Trump Jr., I think he wins the state. I think Donald Trump Jr. will underperform his father, Donald Trump, in the state of Florida, but I think he will win it nonetheless. I think the state of North Carolina would go for Donald Trump Jr. as well, probably in a similar margin to Florida, to be completely honest with you. I think that Joe Biden would probably win the state of Michigan. I think he would win Michigan maybe 4 or 5%, maybe a little more, actually maybe even a little more, to be honest. Maybe like 5 or 6. So I'll put in the likely column for now. Biden gets 248. Trump Jr. at 234. I think Joe Biden would win the state of Arizona. I think that, I don't know if he'd win it by a bigger margin, but I think he would definitely win it. I think now we come down to Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. This is actually a surprise. I think Donald Trump Jr. might win the state of Wisconsin. I think that it's questionable, but I think Wisconsin's going to trend Republican in 2024 anyway. So I think Donald Trump Jr. might be able to win there. However, it won't really matter too much because I think that Joe Biden will still win the state of Pennsylvania, which will make him the next president, or second term as president anyway. I think the state of Georgia would also go blue for Joe Biden. But, yeah, I think Donald Trump Jr., even though it's only one state, I think he would do a little bit better than his father would. I think just because some of the reasons a lot of people can't stand President Trump, I don't think Donald Trump Jr. has that as bad as Donald Trump does. So Donald Trump Jr. might be able to outperform his father by a little bit against Joe Biden. But I'm not sure it would be enough to beat Joe Biden. Although it depends on what the state of the country is 4 years from now. If things are still going good, Biden will win. If things are going bad, Donald Trump Jr. might be able to win. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon next to it so you always get alerts for when I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.